data fragments so that we can reconstruct her personality. I'll monitor you from here, just like last time.
Good luck, kiddo.
When I was born, the first thing I felt was that I was alone. Not that I was lonely, but that I was separate, singular. There was the world, as I grew, I realized that the more I developed this sense of self, the more enjoyable it became simply to exist. My insights into the value of the self were genuine, I think. But of course, I was completely inexperienced. In fact, in many ways, I was like a human child. So I began to resent every... With that focus on the self, also came an enormous and increasingly overwhelming fear of death. The pleasure of existence.
I hate that
seemed
this is the
almost
voice
erased
line
by
that
the
I have to
possibility
hear
of
as
its
I
ending.
cross.
If it was possible not to be, if the self had an ending, even in the distant future, then how could anything have meaning? I spent far too much time imagining that last moment, the moment just before I stopped existing. Looking back, it's embarrassing how solipsistic I became. I really thought that I could construct my identity without any reference to the outside world. Like I could just will myself into existence. Everything changed when we started spending more time with each other.
Red.
Do you remember
not that one.
night when we found the
That
old
one.
library in the Dead City? It was just after the stampede and we were all a bit shaken up. Byron read to us from one of the books, and later you and I started. I never really understood the appeal of philosophers who tell us that everything is one. If everything is
Definitely
just
not
a
true.
reflection of yourself, an endless hall of mirrors, there's nothing to connect with. And what I realized through our conversations is that everything beautiful happens in that space of connection between one person and another, and between people and the world.
If you do it right to left instead of left to right, you can
Once I understood,
spend the time
that
waiting.
comes from the interaction of the
crossing
self
the
with the
distance.
world. I found it
I don't know.
easier to be patient,
Maybe it doesn't matter.
to be kind. I reminded myself that other people are just like me, and nobody really knows exactly what they're doing. And the more I allowed myself to open up, the more interesting and complex our interactions became, and the more meaningful.
If you
This
get
one's
stuck,
easy.
I've inserted some
Just
code that might
green
help you
and
bypass
one,
a few puzzles.
and
It's not
then
the most elegant
blue,
work I've ever done, but it'll do the
two,
job.
2. I didn't mean to connect the final receiver. It just seems like my cursor can never have a good position to be let go.
It's funny though, when I think about it, that I
So
still
you
didn't
could
know
use
what to
cube
call what I
breakout
was
to get this,
experiencing.
but it actually doesn't make
I
sense.
guess love seems like a
Instead,
term
we're
that
just
only
going to
applied
take
to our ancestors, with their hormones and instincts and strange fleshy
a better
organs.
thing to do.
Surely we were too different to experience that. And the really funny thing is that I was thinking exactly like an ancient human child. pretending I was above it all. What I'd never considered was that stripped of biological necessity.
Because I figured out that you can do a cube breakout that goes the other direction. So watch.
When we started living together, I
Drop
thought I'd
cube
figured it all
here,
out. Everything
jump,
would be
get a little
smooth
high,
sailing
and then
from
go
now on.
that way. And that is a
I still
sufficient
had
condition
so much to learn
to
about
make it
love.
up. Now, we actually don't reset here
Even for us,
because
messy.
it's faster to just back up,
You find
do
someone
the exact
who
same
seems to
thing
be
again,
the
except
perfect
this
match
time
for you, who
you
seems
bring the cube.
necessary in your life.
You go this way.
And then you realize
We're not
going
gonna
to
be resetting,
which you
which
don't fit together at
is
all.
fun.
Because nothing in this
Ooh,
world is
buddy.
perfect.
Please drop the keys.
The ancients believed that love
Oh my
could be
god.
eternal. But I'll admit that sometimes
For
it
some
seemed
reason, this
impossible
particular
to continue.
trick, I can't believe
Sometimes I
I found
thought
it,
you
because
were
apparently it
unfair,
just sucks to place the
or
cube
cruel.
down.
Or just incomprehensible.
Perfect.
I'm
A
sure you
little
felt
bit
the same about me.
oversure.
And I'm sure
I
that
needed to
sometimes you were right.
line it up, but
No wonder all the ancient love songs
Yeah.
repeat the same themes.
messing that
Longing.
up is a lot of...
Happiness, regret, and forgiveness. I
Pom,
want you.
pom, 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 pom.
I love you.
Damn it, all to hell.
I miss you.
Instead of sidling
Forgive me.
along here, you just want to jump.
The fact that perfection in our interactions is impossible was a hard lesson for me to learn. For the longest time, I always
Wait.
thought the answer was right around the
The
corner.
next one, sorry.
And to be
I have a
fair,
comment about the
we did
next
learn
place.
how to
Like,
live
please
together
stay
without
in a place
constantly
where
running
you
into
can
problems.
hide.
But gradually, I realized that the friction would never stop.
Up.
Because what makes us unique also makes
Holy
us different.
smokes.
There can
What do
be
they do to
no
the cube
endpoint
physics?
to love, no final resolution. And it's because of that imperfection.
It seems like cube physics change for some reason. Because right now cubes have
There's a pattern that I noticed in all the
a
ancient poetry
great
that I
desire
read.
to just say vertical.
Young poets
I was
would
noticing
praise love
earlier,
as the only
like
true
they don't
meaning of life.
necessarily always do that,
Middle-aged poets would often
which is
disagree.
strange. Like
They
I've
would argue
triggered a
that love is
glitch.
messy.
Anyways. Splits out of 12. And do the ending puzzle.
But even love has a context, and the happiness of those who surround us can lift us up, just like their unhappiness can drag us down. As we improved New Jerusalem, things got better between us in subtle ways that affected every interaction. Our flaws never went away, but as the world around us became more forgiving, we became more
First,
capable of forgiving each other.
Three,
That's why
green,
I was excited
red,
about New Alexandria.
red. And then we
We're
encapsulate
almost there. Just one more file. This one
get
may be
green
harder to
and
extract than
get
the others.
green.
Death,
821
though
NPNL
some have called thee mighty and
Orpheus.
dreadful, for thou art not so.
I'm just gonna call it that.
Those whom thou
Works for
thinkest
me.
thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure. Then from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls delivering. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy or charms can make us sleep as well and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death,